Hi and welcome back to Bedecked. I am the author stylist Rebecca and Brian, but you can call me Beck. Today we are going to have a cozy chat, which is why I'm just sitting in this chair here with some cozy book themed socks that I got from MeUndies. I mentioned before I have a subscription at MeUndies, so not only do they have undies, they have socks too. So some months I get socks. But by the way, not sponsored, I just think they're really comfy socks. What we're actually talking about today though is a topic I came up with when I was walking on the treadmill downstairs and watching some YouTube videos that I subscribe to. I was watching this YouTube video and then I watched a second one and I just had started having this like stream of consciousness thought. So I'm like, okay, so then I started a voice memo and just started talking. So it came out a lot more probably fluid then, but I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna tell you my thoughts. But I do have the voice memo I wrote, so I'm going to be referring to that so I don't miss any points. So first of all, for our the drink of the episode today is this Paradise pear flavored wine from Cedar Creek Winery. This Barbara got from me when I was over there helping her with her closet clean out. So, and by the way, Cedar Creek Winery is also where my husband and I had our first date many, many years ago. And it's still good. That's impressive. I opened this like a week ago or something. Anyway, so that's the beverage for today. No reason. It's not a themed beverage. It's just relatively low calorie in what I wanted to drink. So anyway, these videos, one was about how one fashion YouTuber is kind of over all the trends and over keeping up with the trends and just sick and tired of the grind that happens when you have to constantly care about what you're wearing. And if you're running a fashion YouTube channel, that she has to care about it and has had to for many, many years. And then she was kind of having a crisis of her personal style and everything, and really kind of doubting what she wanted to do with her style. And it's a weird balance between wanting to be trendy and wanting to have your own style. So she was having a little doubts about personal style and everything. And then the second video I watched, it was so weird. It was by a different woman. She's been a personal stylist for, oh gosh, over 10 years. And it was actually, without her knowing it, it was an answer to this other video. Like, hey, are you sick of following with the trends? Are you wondering like what your personal style is? I get it. And here is a concrete method you could try to use to figure out your personal style. And the way these two women talked about personal style really reminded me, oddly, of how writers talk about writing style and finding their own voice. And it made me think of an idea for this episode of, I've been trying to find a way to justify the existence of an author stylist for years now. And I really think something can be said for the similarities between finding your personal style and expressing yourself through that, and finding your writing style and expressing yourself through that. So that is kind of what I want to touch on today. So like I said in the first video, this woman was talking about how she's grown weary of the trends, and how there's almost, on one side it's the trends, and on one side, the personal style side, is like anti-trend and going against the grain to stand out. And it's just extremely exhausting to keep up with. And this is true when it comes to writing as well. I mean, when it comes to writing style. And I kept thinking of the term writing to market. In some people's minds, it's perceived as finding the trend in the market and writing to that. But the problem with writing to market, and the problem with just buying every trend at every fast fashion, is that it doesn't always fit you. My daughter hates when I move my hands, so I'm gonna hold my phone for right now. If it's not a writing trend or a market trend that interests you, it's going to come off as insincere. And that's the same thing with clothing trends. I'm gonna go with oversized because I talked about how oversized doesn't work for me. If I wore something oversized just because it was trendy, and frankly, it reminds me of 8th grade, I would look very uncomfortable. I wouldn't be able to pull it off, and it would be very obvious that it's not authentic. And that's the same thing with writing to market. If it's not a genre you're interested in, like I believe it's no secret that the romance genre makes a lot of money. But if you don't like writing romance and you're just doing it to try to make money, it's going to come off as insincere. You know, it's going to wear you out really fast. And keeping up with the different trends in the writing market is going to also wear you out really fast. And there's no way you can keep up with it either. So then the idea is finding what works for you. Definitely try new things, but finding what works for you, finding your sweet spot of where the trends meet your personal style, whether you're writing or whether you're getting dressed, it'll reflect in how other people see you, and it will definitely reflect in how you feel. And if you're a writer, it will help you find the correct readers who will stay with you for the long haul and become super fans, hopefully. Both writing and fashion are really important forms of self-expression. And they're forms of self-expression I've used in the past. If I wanted to kind of figure out my life or be heard, sometimes writing is easier for me than talking. I'm not a very talkative person, despite the fact that I have a YouTube channel. So it's easier for me sometimes to write things down first. And same with getting dressed. I like to express myself by, for example, wearing bright colors or wearing something a little edgy or something a little off, something a little against the grain, something that'll stand out slightly from everybody else. And that is how I express myself, through writing and through fashion. And even when you've found like a style that works for you, in both writing and fashion and every creative field ever, or really every field ever, anything you do, there will be an aspect of comparisonitis, and there will be an aspect of imposter syndrome. And that's definitely prevalent in the author community, and that's prevalent in the YouTube community, the fashion community, whatever community you're in. If you're in a sport, I mean, you're always going to compare yourself to the higher level or the one who gets all the playing time or whatever. So that was kind of the first video, kind of a crisis in trends and personal style and everything. And like I said, the second video, by the way, I'll link both these videos below to give credit where it's due. The second video was really an answer to the first video. Like, you're having this crisis, what do you do? The aha moment for me with this second video, when I paused the video after the second video and started doing my voice memo, was she said, think about what feeling you want your clothes to evoke. And I've said the same thing, or I've learned the same thing when trying to figure out like branding for your author business, for example, or when you're trying to market your book. Find out what feeling your book is evoking, and then use that to find your people and hone your skill and everything like that. So this woman in the second video actually had an exercise. She started an exercise where you get out a journal. So if you got any journals for Christmas, or whether you bought your own journal, your own pretty journal that you haven't decided what to use it for, get that out, get a nice pen, and I'm not gonna go through the exercise. High level though, I will tell you high level. You basically close your eyes and think about a time when you felt really confident and really yourself, and describe everything you were wearing, and then describe the adjectives, how you felt wearing that outfit. I think that's important when you're writing a book too. Think about your favorite author and think about what kind of emotions they bring out in you when you're reading their book. And maybe if you have readers, get feedback from your readers too, as what feelings stand out for them as they read your books. So whether you're filling out forms or whether you're just thinking about what feels right, there's a lot to be said about doing both, actually. You're going to need elements of structure, and you're going to need elements of intuition to really understand what's going on, understand the rules of how things should fit, so that you know whether you want to follow those rules or break those rules, and understand the rules of genre so you know really clear what readers are expecting and whether you want to subvert those expectations in your writing. Like, you don't want people to be, maybe you do want people to be confused, but in general, you don't want people to be confused. You want to be like, okay, I see what you're doing there, but then use the emotional side of it to put your own spin on it. So it's knowing when to follow the rules and knowing when to break them, which as a writer is very important, and actually as a fashionista it's very important too. So I just wanted to make this video. My babbling videos don't get a lot of views, which is fine, but these are just some thoughts that I wanted to get down to kind of reiterate that fashion is important, and it's important for everybody in every profession, whether you want people to take you seriously or whether you want people to think you're funny or approachable. Fashion can do that. And so can your writing. So I hope this babbling was sort of useful. My dog and daughter were running around this entire time, so it's more scattered than I wanted it to be. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Bedecked. Tune in next week for whatever topic or book I decide to deck out next. Bye! But now my dog is wearing shorts.
You wanna see? Oh, there goes that. Come on, Toby.
What is life?